Alright, mandolin players, nice to have you here for another live mandolin lesson. And the subject for today is tremolo. This technique of the mandolin technique that is hated by some and loved by others. I'm a big fan of the tremolo. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's this technique on mandolin where you recognize it, right? So that is what I want to talk about today. And also give you some, like the 3 parameters of a tremolo that I want you to be aware of. And this actually started with a question from Simone Hausler. Hope I pronounced your name right. Simone is a German woman but living in USA, and she writes me this. Thanks for great videos. I would like to see some tremolo technique and practice. And Simone, I'm happy to answer your question because I realized I've been doing this live lessons or mandolin lessons online now for almost 1.5 years. And I haven't touched the subject of a tremolo yet. So I think it's really about time. So thanks for giving me a little push there. Yes, and let me see. Yes, there's some people watching right now. Great, I can see there's a thumbs up also. Gonna see if I can bring in my comments here also and reactions. Yes, there it is. So, would be very interested to know, how about you? Do you use the tremolo or not? There's no right or wrong answer to this, because I know some players think this is like a cliche technique. But for me, it's one of the beautiful sounds of the mandolin. So, I'm a big fan of it. But I can see, just type in the comments, please, yes or no, if you're using the tremolo. Would be interested to see. See if we have something coming up. There's also a little bit of latency here. I don't see any comments yet, but please let me know if you play tremolo or not. Yes or no. And let me go into the to this part of it. This I can see. Wayne Willis, not a fan of the tremolo. I can see why. Ian Harvey, yes I do. Glad to have you here, guys. Wayne and Ian, thanks for commenting. And this tune that I just played, that is a very popular tune. That was, I think it's actually Andy Statman who wrote it. It's called Flatbush Waltz. It could also be that it's a traditional tune that Andy Statman played. I'm not sure. But anyway, the first parameter of a tremolo that is the timing. And you can either play this one. The tremolo would be in time or played rubato. And just to demonstrate the 2 difference of this, like I did there. This is more a floating kind of tremolo. And this is the rubato style. But when I played this one, for example, you can see I'm doing it in time all the way. And mostly Drew Egerton says, yes, he plays it in slower tunes, waltzes, etc. And also Gunnar Lingegård is with us, friend of me, not yet. But hope I can give you some ideas for your tremolo playing today. And I really withdrew there that it's very much a thing for slow tunes to add this. And to actually demonstrate that thing, if we put a metronome here, 1, 2, 3. You see, I'm all the time dividing each beat in the same pattern. And when you play the tremolo in time, it's also important where you actually end the tremolo to make it sound good. What I'm doing there is like I'm starting on the beat and I'm ending also on the beat. One, two, three. So that is something that, for example, playing this, that you want to be aware of. It's not like a very random kind of movement. It might sound like that, but it's a very precise technique that I'm using. And also, you can choose, there's option of how much you want to subdivide this. Actually, that's something I might come back to, but so to answer Simone and other how you would practice this, I think it's actually a good thing to set up a metronome and try to play in time. And as I said, you can play a slower tremolo. But it's still in time. So you have those two qualities, playing more freely or the playing in time. Okay? Yes, I have more people coming in here. Cool! Love it that you're here. Oh, I wish I had something to drink, but I don't. But we go on. So, and another thing that I was thinking about is this thing. It's articulation, it says. I hope you can see this. I'm so proud of my new whiteboard that I have here. Well, it's not actually a whiteboard, but so that I can put notes. This is something I've been longing to have here in the teaching studio. So I just got one. And you can see it, what's written there, right? It probably be, if you're watching on a small phone or a bigger screen or something like that. So the articulation. Just gonna dive into the comments here because I see there's some more things coming in. Joe Peter says, I'm glad you used the word tremolo. Yeah, Joe, thanks for that. And to be honest, I don't have another word for this. Well, what would you call this if not a tremolo? Please put it in the comment and I can learn something new today. For the articulation, we have two main ways to do it here. It's either to go for a longer decay of the tone, or we can swell the tone. And I actually think the whole idea of making a tremolo on a mandolin, it's to make like a vocal quality to the sound, right? Or something, I mean, think of it the way you produce a tone with a bow on violin or on a wind instrument. You can start it very gentle and then increase the volume of it. and both with a bow or with a wind instrument and things like that. And that's the kind of things that we want to experiment with doing this. And I want to actually take the usage of this, and so I can write you something here. Because, you know, this is the mandolin has the very, very short tone, right? After we strike the string, there isn't that much we can do about it. This mandolin has a very beautiful sustain, but still it's the attack and then the decay cutting off. And if you ever recorded the mandolin on in an audio computer software or on your phone or something, you would see how this sound is displayed, right? Like this. You recognize this from using a software or something like that. So here's the attack when we actually pluck the string, and then this is a decay time, how the tone is fading away. So going for the decay, I think we're actually, what we want to do, we want to have this straight attack when starting the tone, and then this part is this part that we're amplifying using a tremolo. So instead of, we are working the string. So we keep it forever. So this is what I call decay, that we're amplifying this part of the tone. But we still want to be very precise with the attack. So this is something you can practice. You can keep it for as long as you want, but so that is what I think a beautiful tremolo is. It's actually just we're still using like the tonal quality of the mandolin, but yeah, increasing this part of it. So that's the kind of tremolo that I use the most, I would say. That's the tremolo that I use for. If I wasn't using a tremolo, it would be. But now I'm just amplifying the decay here. And the other version that I was talking about, it's this swell effect that we can use. Now we're kind of like reversing this graph here. So we're starting it like this. You get the idea? Not the most perfect drawing, but so we're starting actually from 0. And that is also, I mean, we could use that kind of tremolo also for flatbush waltz. Oh. See that there's a swell effect, very much like the bow on a violin or on a wind instrument. So two very important parts of the tremolo that you should play around with. So just let me know here, give me some thumbs up if this makes sense, or if you think this is like, if I'm making, what is this? I don't find where. Give me a thumbs up if you like the idea of the yeah, those two different variations, the swell and the decay. Yes, there's some thumbs up coming here. Great. Gonna see here Louis. Hello from Evansville. Hi Louis, thanks for having you here. When that mandolin does have a rich tone and good sustain. Wayne Willis says yes. And Chris Long is asking me, is this the new Mando? And yes and no. This is a mandolin that I had for 9 years now. And it's built by a Swedish luthier, Mats Nordvall. Flat top mandolin, but also very beautiful maple back and all that. And I actually took this instrument to him in January to make some intonation adjustments for it, because I haven't used it for a while, because I think it's been hard to tune and there's been some intonation issues. And the bridge is also glued to the top here, so I couldn't really move it back and forth, so I wanted him to check it out. And so Mats took it to his workshop and been going over it, and he actually also he moved the bridge a little bit, and he also replaced the neck, because he found that there was something with the neck angle that he was very fond of. And so I got it back yesterday, and I tell you, it's like a new instrument, and it sounds so good and it's so easy to play, so it's just lovely to have it back. And I always like this mandolin because it have a very different character to my the bluegrass mandolin, the Phoenix that I normally play. This flat top has a much more open and yeah, and a very good sustain, as Wayne says. So thanks for realizing and commenting this beautiful mandolin. Let's go back to, there's the third thing that I want to talk about. Hold on. So the third parameter of the tremolo that I want you to be aware of. By the way, I haven't introduced myself, because some of you know me, but some of you don't. And I just want to say, my name is Magnus. I'm from Sweden, and my goal is to help mandolin players like you get some more tools in their toolbox, and so that you can experience more musical freedom, have even more fun with your mandolin. And yeah, thanks for watching this. The third parameter, it's about voicing. If you have listened to Flatbush Waltz, you know the B part. There's some double stops happening here. And it's perfectly fine to play a tremolo over more than one string. So that is what the voicing is all about. And it's a little different touch if you're playing a single note, or if you're playing a double stop. So I want you to try both playing single notes and the double stops. And these parameters, they stays the same. I mean, you can play the double stops either with a swell in the rubato style, and you can play it in time with this decay kind of, yeah, you know what I mean. But one thing that I wanted to point out when it comes to the voicing, that even if you play like a chord or a double stop, you don't have to play the tremolo over both strings or over all three strings. When Adam Stadman is playing this B part, for this E flat, we strum. We strum the all three notes, and then but you might wanna just add the tremolo to the top string in your chord, if it's a double stop or if you're playing a 3-note chord. So pay attention to that. I mean, if I would play the tremolo of the whole voicing in this chordal part, that's one way you want to do it, but also you can do it. See? And now we're going into that, just playing tremolo over a little part of the chord. Of course, you can also tremolo in the bass. Yeah. So a tremolo, it's just not a very fast going back and forth with your pick on the string. You have to be mindful doing this, because there's those little nuances. My English. But to the tone that you can experiment with. So that is the 3 parameters: the timing, the articulation, and the voicing. Just gonna go over here to the comment section and see if there's something coming up here. Oi, here's... there's a lot of things going on here. Will McLean, gravy. Really warm and open sound, gorgeous. Thanks, Will. Louis Aid says, I'm glad you're helping to fill the toolbox. That's the spirit, Louis. We want to get as much into our toolbox as possible. Prepare us for different musical situations and different expressions that we want to get out there. So I like to see it. I mean, playing mandolin, it's an art, but playing mandolin is also a craft. And to be able to have the artistic expression, we want to also have the knowledge and the skill of a craftsman. So that's really my philosophy about this. So I'm glad, Louis, that you commented there. Sergio Ribnikov Gunnarsson, best teacher out there, bästa läraren. Thanks, Sergio. Really glad to have you here. I'm not sure if you're watching this from Argentina or if you are in Sweden. I'm not sure, but I think Sergio is a player who lives in Argentina with some Swedish knowledge and also knowledge of the traditional music here from. But thanks, Sergio. I'm really glad you enjoying the lessons. Drew Egerton, when using tremolo, especially on more than one string, I find it necessary to really loosen up the grip on the pick. Do you as well? Yeah, that's, I mean, the grip of the pick when playing a tremolo, it's almost like the volume. If you have this on the electric guitar where you have the volume tune knob, the harder you hold the pick, I think you get a more volume. Oh, sorry, volume out of the mandolin, and if you can keep it very loosely, it's a softer tone. So that is something that I mean, if you want to hold it loose or tight, but you're also saying that you find it necessary to loosen up the grip a little bit when playing on more than one string. Yeah, and I think it's because it's actually a bigger movement. So yeah, I can see really why you have to loosen up the grip a little bit. And if that feels good, that's the way to go. Christopher Lomb, I struggle with it. Tremolo on the G and D strings. More resonance from the bigger go. Yeah, exactly. We have to use more power, more mass to put the G and the D string into action. So it actually can be little more difficult on the G and the D string. I can agree with that. It's a little bigger movement, as you say, on the, but I think it's something you get used to. Yeah, there's so much also. So much nice tremolo playing by Bill Monroe that I would like to cover sometime, but that's for another video. Sergio, yep, learning world-class mandolin in Argentina. That's cool that you are also even watching in South America. That's fantastic. Louis Eads, he say, Eads or Eads, I turn the pick sideways a bit when playing tremolo. Yeah, that's also something. Especially if you have I have this 3-point pick that is similar in all three ways. All edges are the same. But if you have one more round point, that could be also good to choose that for playing tremolo. And I say when you turn it sideways, I'm not sure if you sideways. I'm not sure actually on which side it would be, but that I think it's a good idea to adjust the grip a little bit so that it makes it easier. And also I think it's also a little bit depending of which one of the sounds that you want to pull out. Because this swell rubato kind of playing, that you want a very round kind of mellow sounding tone, but maybe for a when you want a little more attack, you might want to attack it a little more. But yeah, very good way to adjust the grip a little bit. I'm gonna finish off with some last questions here. Another person from Argentina right here. It's a nice surprise to catch the listener of yours. You're a great teacher. Thank you so much, Andres. Another player from Argentina. Fantastic. 2 people from Argentina watching this. Lovely. Yeah, and I think that's it for today. Let me see if there... No, that was probably it. And in 2 weeks, I'll be back again to do a live session. It will be the 28th of May. And for that time, I have something special for you, because that day I'm doing a rehearsal with a new group that I'm playing with. And I didn't want to cancel the rehearsal because that I have trying to be on the schedule to do the live session. So I asked the guys if I could do a little a live session there in the end of our rehearsal, and they were really glad about it. So you will hear some. I will have a little performance for you there, or playing a song and maybe talking a little bit about the. What music we play and things also there. Drew, thanks for your time. Magnus, great discussion. Ian also thank, great lesson, really well explained. From Egypt also have a greeting here. Thanks guys, really enjoyed having you here and that you've been watching. And hope this can inspire you to go for some more tremolo. Even people that don't like the tremolo, give it a try, because it's not that bad. And with those words, I will leave you today, and have a good day and see you soon. Bye.